My name is Hannah. This is my banana. I'm out in the Oceana, surfing in the sun, having some fun. Today, we're going to do some surfing. Hey, sometimes you have to get creative. Eat some delicious barbecue, catch a fish, talk about why I quit boat life, and go over 5 ways to live on a boat. Welcome to the open ocean where you can anchor for free. Let's get into it. Just another day in boat life. First order of business is surfing. Even the dolphins decided to join. After a short boat ride, I reached the surf spot. It was a beautiful afternoon, not many people out, just some seagulls in the wide open ocean. So I paddled out and prepared myself to get wrecked. Needless to say, I haven't been working enough on my surfing skills, but I was able to catch a few before it got too dark. You'd think with all the snowboarding I do that this would be a breeze. And while it does help, it still takes a lot of patience and time to get a hang of it. When you're on that wave, your mind doesn't think about anything else. It's cold and the sun's going down. I don't want to turn into shark bait, so it's time to call it a night and try again tomorrow. It was fun and beautiful out though. The swell is supposed to be coming in tomorrow. The tide's pretty high tonight, so there's not too many waves, so I'm hoping tomorrow is a little better. I need to get in before I get too cold and it gets too dark, and then I'll prepare for a surf session tomorrow. It was time to head back into shore before it got too dark. It's time for pizza! Or something warm, because I'm cold. Sunset was beautiful on the water, but it was time for a shower. These are marina showers, one of the luxuries of having your boat on a dock. Stay tuned for later in the video when I go over some of the different ways to live boat life. Ta-da! Nice and clean. And after a nice hot shower, it was time to catch a fish. He's a big one! A spotted sand bass, I believe. Don't worry, I let him go, but it was a nice way to end the evening. The swell didn't quite show up. The waves were small, so I decided to get creative and make my own waves. Have you ever tried wake surfing on a 9-foot long foamy? I fell a bunch of times, but I don't give up that easily, and eventually found success. The water felt amazing nonetheless, but I definitely need to get a proper wake surfboard. So, is it really possible to stay on a boat like mine for $500 a month? In theory, it is, because my boat payment is $293. If you anchor out at sea for free in the Wild Wild West, that leaves you $207 for fuel, insurance, and maintenance. Not a whole lot left if something goes wrong. But if you're able to secure a mooring ball, the price around me is about $128. So that brings your cost to $421 a month. These are just some absolute minimum cost estimates. You're probably going to need to come up with more for everything, including fuel, maintenance, and insurance. Also remember that pricing varies depending on your location, but both of those costs pale in comparison to the price of rentals right on the ocean. Now let's get into why I'm quitting boat life and go over 5 different ways to live on a boat. But first, I want to thank Scentbird for sponsoring this portion of the video. I've used Scentbird's subscription service in the past and I loved them, so when they reached out to me, I was really excited. I get comments on my videos that say, "Oh, since you live and travel in a truck camper, you probably smell." Thanks to Scentbird, that's not the case. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription service where you get to choose a fragrance to try every month and it delivers right to your door. This is my favorite perfume that I've received lately, and it's called Midnight Silhouette by Christian Siriano, and it's got notes of vetiver, pomelo, and freesia. Every month you get a 30-day supply of a fragrance of your choice, and it comes in this nice, sleek atomizer case. You just twist it to use, and the vial that the fragrance comes in is actually 8 times bigger than the standard perfume sampler size. You can go right to Scentbird's website and take their fragrance selection quiz that helps you choose a fragrance that you'll love. Make sure you click the link below and use my code DRStraight for 55% off your first month of Scentbird. That's only about $8 for your first month. And Scentbird's now in Canada. Now, let's get back to boat life. Unfortunately, boat life just isn't for me. If you're new to this channel, this is my boat. I bought an old 40-foot trawler last year to give boat life a try. This is only the third time I've been here this year, and it's because I'm preparing to sell it. I'd much rather be in my truck camper exploring in high mountain secret spots where no one else is around instead of on the boat. Maybe boat life is something you've considered. Let me tell you why I'm not a fan of boat life right now. Requires a ton of work, maintenance, money, and if you're not there spending time on the boat all the time, then it just doesn't make financial sense. I thought I would be using it more and going on more adventures, so I was okay with the cost that comes with boat ownership. But after using this boat several times, I've realized that the types of adventures that I want to go on, this boat just doesn't fit very well with. I could be using that money and putting it into bigger and better truck camping adventures. Heck, I could just rent a boat in places that I want to use a boat and I'd still be saving money. Initially, it was less expensive to use. I had it on a mooring ball. It was only around $200 a month, but I was subleasing that ball. It wasn't my ball, so eventually I had to move on to a more permanent spot, which is a lot more expensive per month, and I'm just never here. Since I bought the boat for a really affordable price, I'm not really worried about selling it. My friend's a yacht broker, so I was able to actually get the boat off market. Later on, I'd like to get a smaller boat that I could actually trailer around to different locations that just has enough room to eat, sleep, camp, and fish. If you haven't seen any of my previous videos with a tour of this boat, let me show you around. This is the living room, which is so spacious and cozy at night. This is the sofa area. We'll go down to the first stateroom, a nice little bunk area. Right across from that is the first head, a nice little spacious bathroom and toilet, V-berth bedroom. Turn off the lights. We're gonna go back upstairs to this main level and down to the kitchen, freezer and a fridge, double bay sink, lots of storage, a little stove, captain's quarters. So this is my bedroom. And there's a closet, lots of storage. To go into this head, everybody always wants to see the bathroom. Well, there's the bathroom. Now let's talk about some of the ways that you can live boat life. The first and cheapest way to live boat life is out here on the outskirts of the bay. Welcome to the open ocean where you can anchor for free, just like the boats behind me. Only problem is you run the risk of running ashore on the next storm and rocking and rolling 24/7 from the ocean swell. But if you're okay with salty sea showers and rogue seals looking for shelter, then here's your free place for boat life. These are just some of the examples of boats that have washed ashore during previous storms. And believe it or not, it happens more often than you'd think. Never seen this one before though. Truly an off-grid cabin. Just one storm away from being beachfront real estate. This is the cheapest and most extreme way of living boat life. The second most affordable way of living boat life is on a mooring ball. It's a little hard to see here, but there's a bunch of boats floating in a harbor attached to mooring balls. A mooring ball is connected to a large heavy anchor attached to the seabed below. A line called a pennant is attached to the mooring ball, and to that you secure your boat. But usually in popular locations, there's a long waiting list to be on a mooring ball. And when I say long, I can mean up to 5 years long. So it's best to get on the wait list now. One of the things you can do in the meantime of getting your own mooring ball is to sublease a mooring ball. I've been on 2 different subleased mooring balls, and this is pretty cheap. It was about $225 a month. You're gonna be jumping from ball to ball, and you always face the possibility of the owner of the ball returning and wanting to put their boat back on the ball, and then you end up with no place to put your boat other than out there on the outskirts of the bay. Some things to consider about a mooring ball is you are not attached to a dock, so you can't walk right onto your boat. You have to take a smaller dinghy or tender from the dinghy dock to your boat. Some people row their boats, and some people have inflatables or hard-sided dinghies with little electric motors or gas engines. This is what the dinghy dock looks like. All the boats smash into each other, so if you have an inflatable one, it often gets damaged. They're all attached to 8-foot lines, so they all get tangled up. You have to lock the dinghy to the dock because it gets stolen. The salt water rusts the locks, so you can't get the locks open, so you have to cut off the lock in the middle of the night when you get there in the dark and you look like a crook. Other things to consider, since you're on a mooring ball, you aren't going to have shore power or water, so you have to have solar power or a generator for electricity, and you have to dock up to refill your freshwater tank and pump your black tank. The third way to do boat life is at a marina. But this comes at a substantial cost. With a marina, you have the luxuries of services such as laundry, deli, hot showers, bathrooms, sometimes saunas, and swimming pools and hot tubs, but they charge you by the foot, and that includes all and any appendages on your boat. So I have a 40-foot boat, but I have a 2-foot swim deck, so that's 42 feet. I'm charged $24.77 a foot. You do the math. With this method, you're attached to the dock, so you can walk right onto your boat. You can stay there for however long you want, take it to guest marinas for short periods of time, and then return back to your marina when you're done with your adventure. This all sounds fine and good, but it's expensive. Now on to the fourth method of boat life. Just on a nice evening stroll in my dinghy, or some would call it a tender, which is basically a little boat that you take to your big boat. I guess I should probably tell you I was also pulling your leg. I didn't quit boat life, I just upgraded. I just wasn't sure I was going to tell you. I guess I should probably also tell you that it comes with a helicopter. Let's check it out. Truly a fairy tale. This method, you have a massive boat with an entire crew that cooks all your meals and does all your maintenance and navigation while you travel the world from port to port, taking in the views, whining and dining. Or lastly, maybe you're a little more hardcore and you sail around the world with the wind at your back. And I give anybody who takes this boat lifestyle so much credit, because Mother Nature is no joke, and I can't think of all the times that you may have to MacGyver something up so that you're not stranded in the middle of the ocean. Bye bye boat life. If you're considering boat life, I hope you find what you're looking for, because I didn't. Much love. Bye now.